Hello everybody and welcome to another Nail Talk Live. And today we're going to talk and show you how to work with problematic nails, challenging nails.
Yes.
We have a nail biter here sitting with us, a guy, so you're going to make a man's version of a nail biter's fixed nail.
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit of troubleshooting in how to apply the product and what you can do or maybe can't do. Different kind of things.
Yeah, using different colors.
Yeah, using different colors, natural colors. And we try to correct and maybe a little bit enhance the natural nail.
Yeah, but still keeping it masculine.
Yes.
Up to a certain extent.
Yes, yeah.
So we have a lot to do and something that you do a lot in your salon, problematic nails. Let's get started. Of course, you cannot wait to get started because this is really going to be a challenge today.
Yes.
And we didn't have a lot of time to prepare, so let's see where we go.
Yeah.
But of course, we have more to show you tonight because I believe Cerisa is there as well.
Yeah, Cerisa is going to show us a refill at a nail that really grows like
angled down,
nail. Like a hook nail. And she's going to show us how to do this, so a new refill. And of course, you have Yessica again, our beautiful queen of art, who's going to show us AirNails.
Yeah, and how to work on your own nails.
Yeah, own nails also.
So that was quite a challenge to film that as well, because she was sitting there like this, doing AirNails, and but the result is really stunning and beautiful. So you have to stay tuned. One of your team members actually won a competition this weekend.
Yes, one of my team members come from Belgium, and she entered the Belgium Championships, and she became #1. So
cool.
That was very cool because we also introduced a little bit of kind of a new competition nail in the Benelux. So before we have very long French manicure, and now we did a small French manicure with the lanula.
Okay.
And they liked it. Because she won.
Super.
Yeah, that was super.
Yeah, I saw the nails. I also saw the nails because she trained, I believe, on the hand of Annelies.
Yes, also. Yes.
And those were also beautiful.
Yeah. And she was so unsure. She was crying, and I didn't win, and it's horrible. And I said, no, just wait. And of course, she won. Yeah, also insecure, but very talented girl. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Perhaps we can have her as a guest sometime to show us how to do that beautiful competition nail, of course.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at our model, because we have a real nail biter, challenging nails. Steven is working in our office, in the warehouse, and I saw his hands when he came for his first job interview, and the moment I saw his hands, I said to him, you have to be our model during Nail Talk Live. And now we are a couple of weeks later, and here you are with your nails, and let's have a look, because they're quite severe.
Yes, they're quite severe. There are a lot of things you can see in these nails. Of course, you can see the redness around it.
Around the cuticle.
Yeah, around the cuticle. That's signs of a little bit of inflammation. So it could be like infected a little bit. Probably by the nail biting. You can easily see that he is a nail biter.
Yeah.
But we want to give this a little bit of an enhancement. That's difficult though, because you can see his skin is very thick and
hard.
Hard, just around the cuticles and the fingertip. It's very a lot of skin. And of course, he doesn't have like the natural looking roundish extension free edge. So you really need to cut. The form,
Because you already mentioned the form, there are people that prefer to work on forms, some prefer to work on tips when it's a nail biter, and some even prefer to work on the natural nail plate itself, or the nail bed. What's your opinion about that?
Well, I think that if you are just a beginner, it's wise to start with placing a tip, because the tip is a better guideline. Be careful that you have the right tip size, because you can easily go too small, and when you get corners, then you will probably get picking on the sides again, or when it gets too wide, you get the problem that the tip can lift off. But it's the easiest way when you first do a nail biter, because a nail biter is hard. If you're very advanced and you like to work with forms like I do, I prefer to use a form. I also have seen that they work directly on the skin, and then just put the product on the skin and then pull away the skin when it's completely cured in the lamp. I have been raised absolutely not put any product on the skin. So I know it's possible. I know they do it pedicures. They will do it as well. But it's not in my system. No.
No. So you're going to work on the form to protect the also to prevent allergies?
Yes, to prevent allergies. Because, of course, when you work directly with product onto the skin, then you have the possibility of likely an allergic reaction. Yeah.
Especially also because the skin is already damaged, so it's open, and the chemicals can easily penetrate the skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Lengthwise, of course, now we have a man as a model, so we're not going to make super long nails.
No.
But what would you in generally advise when somebody comes to the nail studio, is a nail biter? Because most of the time they actually want to have really long nails.
Yeah. Well, of course, I don't think you want really long nails, so we're not going to do that. But maybe we can go on the camera, then I can show you. With man-wise, you can see his fingertips are very thick. So I'm not going to take it all the way up to here, and probably he doesn't want that to, because that's way too long. He isn't used to that. And so for his man-wise, I will probably just elongate a little bit to right up to here, and just make his nail bed a little bit more enhanced, so a little bit more manicured, like he's not biting, so the natural form, not too deep, not too straight, and this is more like edginess on all sides. So we're gonna elongate a little bit the nail bed, and then just
a tiny free edge.
Tiny free edge, very thin, very natural, like a natural manicured hand of a man.
Okay, well, the preparation of the natural nail is of course very important, because most of the time nail biters also have a lot of cuticle, non-living tissue stuck on their nail plate. And you really need to take the time to do a proper prep.
Yes. If you look at his, especially, I already prepped this nail. So you can see it's a little bit shiny because I already prepped this one. I just removed some extensive cuticle, so dead tissue that's on the nail plate. I didn't do much to the real cuticle. And you can see directly there is no cuticle here. It's just straight on epinicium. And I don't touch it. It's so sensitive already. This could be maybe a little bit with a good manicure with oil, treatments, really balancing treatments with good products, vitamin E, and then just continue to do that for several weeks, and then it will get a little bit better. But it's not something you can directly solve like this in the salon, unfortunately.
No. So you have to start using cuticle oil, in other words. Okay, let's get started with the application.
So I already prepped the nail, and I applied a soft bond. So
to promote adhesion, to make sure, because of course when a nail biter, when it lifts, it's easy for them to get tempted to start biting.
Yes.
And
so you really need to prevent lifting. That's the most important thing. So really work in even thin layers, not too much product at once. You can build it, I would choose to build it up with layer if necessary, then use too much product. Because the area of the nail is so small, so you easily get maybe a leakage and
touch the skin,
and then you're gone.
Applying the form is of course also is a challenge in its own, because you need to really understand how to cut the form in order for it to properly attach underneath the natural nail.
So if you look at here, you can see that the form, of course, has a very deep, natural shape, like a rounder shape. This is not going to match.
No.
So if I hold this on top of the nail, I can see that this and this area is way too much. Probably with a nail biter, you just need to cut the form straight. So I take my scissors and I just
cut the contact area of the form in a straight line.
In a straight line. Go in here, turn it around a little. in a very straight line.
The form needs to fit perfectly, eh?
Yes.
Because if we skip here a little bit, then the product can seep underneath, and you will get all kind of micro cracks. So you first apply the front tabs?
Because this makes it easier for me to really apply the form, because it's harder to do. There's a lot of skin.
Yeah.
But you also can do, if there is a lot of skin, and you can apply some
Duct tape
and really pull down the skin. However, this model has a little bit of moisturized hands, so it's not possible because it's not gonna hold.
Yeah.
That's why I'm closing down already the form, because it makes it easy for me to put down the form really close against his own natural free edge. I hold my thumbs right to the place where his natural nail leaves the side walls. Really hold it like this, and then pull down the form
underneath the nail.
Underneath the nail. So now I'm pulling the skin also a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
For as long as it will hold, and really make it very, very tight.
The tighter, the better in this case, because of course, and as you said, for as long as it holds. So you also need to be quite fast with a nail like this.
Yeah.
Especially with the wet hands.
Especially, and I also would strongly advise to just do one form at a time. So not place all the forms, just do one at a time. So you're absolutely sure that it stays on there, and you don't need to finish up the whole nail. But what you can do is just place the form, put a small layer of clear. That's what I'm going to be my next step. And then you take the other hand, let it cure, take the other hand, and then go back and forth, because after the clear layer and then maybe the nail bed, you can take away the form a little. So it's not that necessary anymore to keep the form on.
Yeah, so you're going to create the shape of the nail using a little bit of clear, also blending it into the natural nail, making sure that everything is stuck there, and then the form can slip off or be taken off without any problems. You're going to work with gels, and you're going to work with a couple of different gels.
Yes.
We're going to use natural look gels, which are gels in the color of the natural nail free edge, but we'll talk a little bit more about that when you start to do that. You're first going to use clear.
Yeah, I'm first going to use clear, so as a base layer. This is the base, and you can also can use this as a top. But it's a very
very thin, low viscosity gel.
Yeah, very thin, low viscosity. It's just for a little base. I'm going to apply this on the natural nail.
Yeah.
And then keeping my brush really in upward position, so the tip of the brush will go to the
the tip of the brush is between the cuticle and the gel.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's a nice airtight seal.
Yeah.
And then you work with the brush more downward to create a little bit more volume on the nail bed as well.
Exactly. And I'm going from one side to the other, making sure that the natural nail is fully covered. Now I'm going to take some extra product.
Yeah.
And just making a line of product on the form.
Now covering the form.
Yes.
Are you now going to create the definite or the end shape and length?
No, not yet. No. Of course, I'm not going to make a very long nail right now. I'm calculating a little bit the complete length of the nail, not too much, of course.
And you're going to use a nail plate extender as well?
Yes.
Just to elongate the natural nail bed a little bit?
Yes.
To make it more balanced?
Yeah, and this is going to help me to file a little bit of the nail bed later on, and I prefer to make it a little bit longer.
Yeah, to give you a little bit of space.
To work on, yes. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's very thin.
Yes.
Yeah, and very important is to make a connection from the natural nail up to the form, from the side walls on this side as well.
Because if it's not connected, then you have a little space there, crack,
space, and it absolutely is going to break at the end. Okay, now you can cure.
You can go in the light. Go with your whole hand.
Yeah.
Yes. And curing time is about 30 seconds for the full cure
Yeah.
in LED.
So I'm going to take it out a little after a few seconds, just to give the form a little bit of a pinch.
So you're holding making sure that the form is now a little bit more angled or curved.
Yeah.
To create a little bit of a C curve.
A little bit.
Of course, you cannot really pinch a deep C curve now.
No. And I'm not really, I cannot pinch, I'm not able to pinch it here because, there's too much skin. But I can, now the gel is still wet enough to really, it stays on the form. So if I now pull the form a little bit down and make it a little more curved, it pulls the gel.
Yeah, it tapers itself in.
It tapers itself in, yes. And you come back into the lamp, yeah.
And now you give it the full 30-second cure?
Yes, a full 30 seconds, yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm very curious what the next step will be, because you're going to work with nail blade extender.
Yeah, I'm going to work with a nail blade extender. You have different kind of colors.
Yeah.
I chose this one to have the warm pink, because the warm pink has a little bit beige look in it, and it really suits his natural skin, a nail plate tone. So that's why I'm chosen this one.
And are you going to work in the reverse technique?
I'm going to work in reverse technique. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. However, you can, of course, especially when you have elongated the nail bed, you could choose to do it in the natural.
In the
traditional way,
traditional.
in a classic way, yeah, but in this, it's easier. Yeah, we choose the easiest way, right?
Yes,
yeah.
it's difficult enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure that everything is nicely centered on the camera, the color, and then you're going to create your nail bed.
Yeah. And this is a very, what I like about this gel is that it has a very great viscosity. It's not running, as you can see, it's holding.
Yeah.
And it allows me to make a little bit of a string.
Yeah.
This string will help me
to create your nail bed?
Yeah, a little bit. So I'm going to form here, and I just pull it over, and this gives you a little bit of a guideline. Where do you want to go?
Oh, that's super easy.
Yeah, so just hold this string and go on top, and it also allows you to build up a little bit of a wall where you want to extend the extension edge, of course, the white free edge. And I go all the way into the corners. And now I can easily see how much I extend it. And it gives a little bit of a roundish look. This is what I'm going to lock now for 10 seconds.
Okay. So then you really have a wall that you're going to fill up.
Yeah, because you don't want to build a high wall. Normally, when you do a reverse technique on, like on a woman that wants really long nails, you have space and room to really build a highest wall. But now this is a man, and you want to keep it as thin as possible. So to prevent that you have too much product on there, you first put a little bit of a wall down, and then fill it up so it don't collapse and comes flat. Yeah.
So that would make this next step easier then?
Yeah, the next step is easier. So what the next step will be, I'm going to take a small amount and just color the nail bed.
Create a base layer.
Create a base layer, because I don't want too much product at the cuticle as well. And then take just a little bit of an amount, lay it down,
roll it off of your brush
in the middle, and then just guide the product.
And because of the first wet coat, of course, it is easier to self-level.
Yes.
And just by moving it slowly, then the shear in the gel gets activated. So in other words, it starts to self-level.
Yes. Yeah. The more how you, and don't really press into the gel, make very light movements.
Feathering movements.
Feathering movements, yes. I like that word. Yeah, and then guide the product all the way up to the wall.
Yeah. Well, that's an easy way to do it, Debbie.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take a look from the side. The wall is slightly higher.
Yeah, so you're going to add a little bit more?
A little bit more, just here to prevent shadowing when we start filing. So So just on this area, I'm going to add a little bit more because this is the area where his natural nail is underneath.
Yeah, so you need that a little bit thickness to get
just
coverage.
Yes, a little bit thickness.
And still around the cuticle, it's almost as thin as paper.
Yes, a thin as paper because we don't want to have too much product over there.
So, and if we... Yeah, you have a nail bed. All of a sudden, our model has a nail bed.
Yeah.
So we're halfway there.
We are halfway
there. That's great.
Yeah. So we're going to cure this.
Yeah, we're going to cure this. And while we're curing this, because we need to have 1.5 minutes full cure, of course, we're going to have a look at what Cerisa is going to do with a correction of a nail that grows down. Hello everybody, nice that you're watching me again in Nail Talk Live. And today our topic is challenging or problem nails. Well, I have a problem with challenging nails, but today I'm going to show you how to do a nail correction when a nail grows downward. For instance on a hook nail, or when your model didn't come back for the last 7 weeks for her fill-in, as my model did. Let's check the nail. As you can see, there's a big grown out area and the nail is really fragile. It's 7 weeks. This was the nail that I made for the bridal show, the Sassy French. First I'm going to use the ceramic smooth top bit to thin out the entire artificial overlay on the nail. Be careful not to remove too much, as the nail is quite fragile and of course it is quite easy to break the nail, so be careful and just thin it out. After the bulk of the product is removed, I'm going to push back the cuticle and then I'm going to file the nail in shape with the hand file. Of course I'm going to check to see if there's any lifting and the nail is sealed tight. With a 150 grit file I'm just correcting the shape and shortening the nail a little bit, making it more balanced, more in proportion. With an emery board you can clearly see that the lower arch line of the nail is angled downward. It falls off the finger, as it were. So I need to file this a little bit away to make sure that the lower arch is straight. Using the prep bit, a diamond cuticle bit, I'm just removing the shine of the natural nail and pushing back the cuticle and removing the cuticle. Any lifted areas need to be removed now. Okay, so the nail is prepared. I'm ready to apply my product. I'm going to remove all the dust and I will apply soft pond primer, after which I will build the nail using Power Gel Nude. I'm going to use more product than I would normally because I really want to lift up the nail to make it more straight. As you can see from the side, you can see that the tip of the nail already comes upward a little bit, so I'm correcting it. After I applied this, I'm going to cure it in the twin light. So the nail is now smoother, so it looks like she came back now after 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm going to apply the product at the cuticle area. Again, Power Gel Nude at the cuticle area, using a little bit of prep and wipe on my brush and just flattening the product and making sure there's a tight seal around the cuticle area. Blending everything together, making sure that the nail is perfect. If you notice that the Power Gel sticks a little bit to your brush, take a little bit of extra prep and wipe and the problem will be solved, and cure this. Everything is now applied, the nail is in the proper shape, more balanced. Of course I'm going to cure it for 1.5 minutes in the twin light and then I will start filing the nail using a 150 grit file. Of course I will check the thickness and the apex of the nail. Start filing, making sure that the area of the nail where it comes out of the finger is a little bit more tapered. Always file and check, file and check, to make sure that the shape is balanced and even. file and check. The top part of the nail is now filed, and now I'm going to check the underneath of the nail, because as you can see there's a lot of product over here. And I'm going to remove this, including the white French part, using the kickoff bit. And I'm really concentrating on thinning out the nail from the underside, and I also get a nicer deep C-curve as a result of this. I will remove all the dust and particles of the nail plate, and we're going to apply a nice gel polish color. Even though it's the winter season, I'm using a beautiful blue color, the Jelly Bean, gel polish Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean has a great coverage, but of course I always finish with a second coat. The color is applied, the top coat is applied. Let's have a look. As you can see, the arch of the nail is back where it should be. It's no longer angled down, it's straight out of the sidewalls, and the nail is balanced again and structured again and ready for another 6 to 7 weeks. Thank you for watching. Of course, I hope that your clients won't stay away for 7 weeks, because that's really a problem, and with all my tips I cannot help you with that. If they stay away for 7 weeks, well, probably it's better to advise a new set of nails and let them also pay for this. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye! So the correction of a hook nail, really a challenge in the nail studio, but something that happens quite often, because most people have their index fingers that grow downward a little bit, or in my case, all my nails grow downward, and then you have to fix it. You didn't really do anything. You just removed the form and removed the sticky layer.
Yes.
Let's have a look at what the nail is now. And you can see that it's really a very short, clear part, the nail bed, and we already see 7 colors of white on the table.
Yes, exactly.
And those are the natural look gels.
Yes, these are the natural look gels, and they have a fading from a little bit whiter to, I will not say yellowish, but the natural nail has a kind of yellowish, of course, of inside. And everybody has his own color. And you've told me something funny about that, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
The natural color of your free edge is matching the color of your eyes or teeth.
Yes. When they're not whitened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same color. Well, it's a fun story, because when we decided to make the natural looks, I mixed these to fix all of the natural free edges, and I made the first 5 colors, and we actually thought, well, 5 and 4, they are way too dark, it will match nobody, but the natural nail is a lot darker than we think it is if you start to match it to the natural nail.
Yeah.
Because we really need to have that a little bit beige, yellowish tone in it to create a natural looking nail. And for our model, we need to have a natural looking nail.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the 7 colors, because you have to choose these wisely.
Yeah, you have to choose these wisely. Of course, not too yellowish if the nail underneath is too white, because then you probably see a color difference in there. The other way around, you probably get away with it. But so you really need to check what fits and what not. Now, of course, this is number 1. You can see that it's way too much for his natural color. So I go directly to number 4.
Taking a big step.
Yeah, taking a big step, because I saw the difference was way too big. This is getting more into his, but still his natural nail looks a little bit more yellowish.
Yeah.
But the difference is small, so I go up to number 6 now.
And we have a match.
And we have a match. Yes, absolutely. Number 7, you will see it's too warm.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, he's like in between there.
Yeah, a little bit in between. But let's go for the safe way. We go for number 6. The funny thing is, if you see the number 6 here on the ColourPop, or you see the number 6 here.
Yeah, because of the volume, it looks like real yellow.
Yeah, it looks like yellow, but of course, it looks beautiful when you just have a small little free edge.
And also the thickness of the application. If you make it thinner, it becomes more translucent, and that creates a more natural result. We made this also for the gel polish technicians that work on natural nails, because if they break a nail, then you want to fix a nail and that you don't see that on the underneath. So it was a whole endeavor creating the most natural looking nails there are. You're going to file the nail bed a little bit in shape using an emery board.
Yeah, I'm using an emery board, holding really straight up. And be
Filing
careful.
in the wall.
Yeah, and it don't have to be very, very perfect, but you don't also want to have like little bubble and thingies going on. So I'm going to...
Yeah, and taking the time to perfect it is what makes the difference, eh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Be careful when you do this, not pressing too hard, because the clear layer underneath, of course, it's very, very thin.
Yeah, also make sure that the sides of the files are dull, because otherwise they're so sharp that when you start filing it, oops, there goes the clear extension edge.
Absolutely.
And that wouldn't be the first time that happened.
No, absolutely not. So I'm not going to too deep and make it, just here on the tip, a little bit more straight even though.
A little bit less rounded.
Yeah.
What's important to note is that the natural look gels are builder gels. So they're strong enough to create an extension. They're not really suitable as a paint-on gel, because you need a little bit more volume to get the coverage of the color. So that's important to note. You're also going to file the nail bed surface?
Yeah, a little. Yeah, just to make sure that I pick up the right amount of product when I'm creating his free edge.
Yeah.
And
very softly.
Very softly, yeah. I'm going up and downwards because I want to have a good product connection here in the side walls.
I think you're using 180 grit for this?
Yes, 180 grit.
Coarser is not necessary.
No.
And you're focusing also to get the height of the nail bed even, so that when you apply your white...
Yeah, so it's evenly applied. So really focusing on this side of the nail, I'm looking almost down.
Yeah.
Like this. In between, yeah.
I noticed when we did the 3D French nail that this is very important, because it makes it easier to build out the nail.
Yeah. Yeah, to really file already the top surface of your smile line, yes.
Even though I wasn't a big fan of the reverse technique and filing the smile line, now I really understand.
Yeah, especially when you do it with gels or...
Yeah, with acrylic, of course. Yeah. The natural look is, by the way, also available in acrylic. We have 3 colors, because to blend the perfect colors is a little bit tricky when it comes to acrylics.
So now I'll file it just a little. The difference is with a nail like I create on a woman is that I most of the time file up, because when you want to create a curve, now I'm filing really on top of the nail to make everything a little bit more flat.
Ah, yes, you're right, of course. Normally you file upward in a C-curve shape, and now you go downward to
And now I'll go
flatten
downwards, because I want a different kind of shape. So now I'm going down.
Another great tip.
And not to make it really feminine looking, but more, masculine looking.
Yes, we have a very masculine guy here, so we need to make a real man's nail.
Yeah, and I'm being very, 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 very careful. Because it's so thin, you don't want to go to the product so you can see the natural nail. You have to be really careful.
Yeah, you have to keep also the coverage a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, this is the base. Of course, I'm going to file the nail later on more in perfect shape. I'm going to take my sapphire file just to correct the smile line a little bit more.
The sapphire file is really an absolute must-have in the studio.
Yeah.
Of course, we never use it on natural nails.
No.
Although our parents did.
They actually still do on schools, though.
Do they?
Yeah, yeah, they still do. But now you can see this final touch gives you a more crisp, sharper. Yeah, sharper. Yeah. Also, be careful when you remove the dust, because this is still very thin. you go. Okay, removing the dust.
And then the nail's almost finished, I think. It's just a matter
Almost.
of creating
Yeah.
now the free edge.
I'm going to take a nail wipe with a little bit of prep and wipe.
Mhm.
And I'm just cleaning a little bit of the dust because I don't want any particles in there
Mhm.
that makes it difficult for you to really apply the product. Now, taking up number 6.
Yeah. It's almost peachy on screen.
Yeah.
But really, trust us, it will be beautiful.
And I do the same thing here, creating again a little bit of a string and connecting the product around
The nail bed.
the nail bed. Yeah. Thank you for finishing my sentence. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you're so concentrated.
Yeah, I'm just mesmerized.
And I do exactly the same thing. The thing is, when you're having a little bit of a string, you can get easily all the way into the pointy corners. Yeah, where you'll most of the time there's going too much product in the corners.
Yeah.
So by doing it this way, you're making sure that it stays equally divided and not too much product. Okay, taking a look from the side.
Are you going to build it up in one time, or are you going to cure in between and add a little bit on top of it?
Well, this is already so thin.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be perfectly when I do this in one time. But I always check. So I'm going to cure it now, and then I come back to check.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
a natural looking nail.
Yeah.
It's almost there. While we are finishing this nail and curing this nail, and you will have to check the nail, of course we're going to have a look at what Yessica is doing on her own nails using AirNails. Hello everybody, nice that you're watching me again. Today I'm going to show you how to do short nails, designs on short nails, nail art on short nails. And I always wear short nails and I always wear nail art. So I have a lot of experience with this and I'll show you how to do this, doing it on my own nails actually. When a nail is smaller, you need to work a little bit bigger to fill everything. And the design I'm going to show you today is quite a tough, cool design. Not very difficult, but quite fashion forward and very cool. And I'm going to work with AirNails, liner gel, top gel and French maskings, AirNails maskings, and black nail art or black AirNails paint. And I'll do my best so that you can see everything, as it's quite difficult to do your own nails and also to do your own nails with all of these cameras around you. So this is the nail. I prepared it already and I applied a thin coat of cocoa nude and removed the shine and buffed it with a white block to prepare the nail for the application of the AirNails. Of course, I removed the sticky layer and buffed the surface so that everything is ready to go. To protect my cuticle, I will use cuticle protector around my cuticle line. Skin protector, it's blue and this dries to a thin rubber film that protects the skin of my finger from the paint, even though the paint of course is harmless, but it is sometimes difficult when the paint gets into a dry cuticle to remove it properly. Because then then it looks nasty and tacky. So let this dry for about a minute and a half. It becomes semi-transparent when it dries. Now I'm going to apply the French stencil on the nail bed. And using my tweezers, I'm making sure that it sticks properly from sidewall to sidewall so that there's no chance of seepage of the AirNails paint between the masking and the nail surface. So really push it down, go towards the sidewalls. That's also why you have to wait with the skin protector for it to dry. Apply it and then we're going to spray the first coat. So I'm using AirNails paint black to create the free edge of the nail, the smile line. First spraying it out, and I'm holding a brush wipe to protect my hand from all the paint, and I'm just spraying the French manicure. The whole free edge, working from sidewall to sidewall, making sure that the whole nail is black and beautiful. Can you see this? Then, when you're happy, remove the AirNails masking, and you can see that we have a beautiful black French manicure nail. Bloop. And I'm reapplying the masking a little bit higher because I want to have a transparent band between the smile line and the would-be nail bed. So it's a double smile line, as it were. Making sure again that the masking is really fit properly and snugly to the surface of the nail, because you don't want the black paint from getting in there. Push it in the side walls and then just spray it with the same color, so the AirNails black paint, focusing now on the nail bed. Don't spray too much paint in one go. It's better to build up the color density by going over it and allowing it to dry in between. Otherwise it becomes clumpy. Then I'll remove the masking, and as you can see, we now have a beautiful transparent band in the middle of the nail and two smile lines. I'm also removing the skin protector that is now the rubber-like film. And at the same time, the whole cuticle area is cleaned. So this is the base of my design. Now, the moment is there to finish the nail. But before you use a top gel, of course there is a little bit of AirNails paint on the hairline of the nail. And it is very important that we remove this before using the top gel, because otherwise it can chip. So, I'll take a white block, and with the white block I will gently buff the hairline of the nail, making sure that I remove there the AirNails black paint. Also in the side walls, making sure that the edge of the nail is clean. And then I'll use AirNails primer. And the AirNails primer makes sure that the top gel adheres on the AirNails surface. So I'm using this on the hairline of the nail, on the side walls of the nail, and a little bit at the cuticle area. It doesn't do anything with the paint underneath, but it just makes sure that the top gel really adheres beautifully to the AirNails. I always prefer to use base and top gel over AirNails, and I always apply 2 coats. From the cuticle downward, making sure that the whole nail is covered and sealed. Use it twice to give enough strength to the application on top of the AirNails paint. And don't forget the hairline of the nail. Check to see if you covered the entire nail, and when you're happy, cure it for 1.5 minutes in a twin light. Of course, after curing you have to let it cool down a little bit to keep the high shine, and I'll remove the sticky layer with Prep and Wipe, cleaning the whole nail and also the cuticle and skin where the AirNails paint hit my skin. So now it really gets clean and beautiful. And it's already quite cool, but I want to have more a 3D effect, so using a fresh pen and liner gel black, I'm creating the 3D band on top of the black sprayed AirNails part of the nail. So I'll actually apply a smile line going from left to right. So now I get the 3D effect. But liner gel has a little bit of a sticky layer, so when you cure this and then remove the sticky layer, it becomes dull. And I don't want to have a dull effect, I want to have a shiny effect. So I'm going to use a top gel that also makes it a little bit thicker, because I want more 3D effect. So I'm using the top gel from the jar, UV top gel, so that I get a thicker, more 3D band, which is more cool, more funky. So now I'll remove the sticky layer before applying the top gel. You can see that it's a little bit matte. So now I'm using the top gel from the jar, using the same brush pen to recreate the smile line, giving it a little bit more volume and giving it the shine that I really need in this design. So this is really cool. You can see how I'm working here to make sure that all the cameras can see what I'm doing. Of course, in the nail studio I will sit a little bit more comfortably. And I really want everything high shiny in these nails. And of course, I need to cure this for 1.5 minutes in the twin light.
I'm complete again.
I'm complete again. I'm going to remove the sticky layer, the sticky residue, using finishing wipe or prep and wipe. And as you can see, the nail is now done. I'm complete, my nails are done, everything is ready to go. I hope that you like this, that you got some inspiration, and get creative, do it yourself. See you next time, bye! Doing your own nails and then with AirNails, of course, I think that is easier than to do hand painting on your wrong hand.
Yeah,
but
that's for sure, but it's still difficult.
When you see how she's doing that, that's so cool. Okay, you already started to do a little bit of filing.
Yeah, a little bit,
on one side of the nail, just to make sure that we get on with it.
That we get on with it, and it's easier on the camera. So I already started filing this side of the nail, so you can see that it's smooth and it's coloration. I'm going to file this side of the nail. I'm going to use exactly the same technique as I did later before on the nail bed.
Flattening technique.
Flattening technique. So really flat on the nail, working downwards.
What we didn't mention yet is that nail biters, of course, need to come back to the nail studio a lot faster than a normal client, because the nail bed actually it grows faster because it wants to protect itself. So what would you advise this client to come back after 1 or 2 weeks? What would you say?
Well, especially the first time, I would say come back after 1 week just to do a checkup.
Yeah.
To see if he can used to it. Maybe he's just finding it very difficult and he cannot use of the feeling of having anything of a kind of enhancement on his natural nails. And if everything goes well, then come back the next week again, and then you need to do really a kind of a rebalancing, because the nail biters, they train the nails to grow. So the matrix is very gets stimulated to grow faster and faster to protect, of course, the nail bed underneath the nail plate. So if they bite the nail plate away, then it really stimulates the growth of the natural nail.
While you're filing, of course, it's very important to get a very smooth nail.
Yeah.
No edges, no ridges, no nothing, because that is only tempting to bite.
Yes, tempting to bite. So what's very important is really smoothing now the surface really out and make it a little bit naturally flat.
Yeah.
I already corrected this side because it needs to go straight off the natural side walls, and here as well, making sure that there are no gaps. So pulling away the skin, and really file away. And this corner needs to go away as well. Make it a little bit more roundish.
So that they don't have a hard little angled corner that is also tempting, do you think?
Exactly, yeah. Everything that is tempting to put your teeth in or something
I once had a discussion with somebody, a famous nail technician, and he always advised when a nail biter comes to your studio, just make really long nails on them, because then they are really so crippled almost that they will treat their nails like, okay, now I have jewels on my hands, instead of making it too short. But I always tended to do what you're doing now.
Yeah, I prefer to do this though, because I think when they have very long nails and they get annoyed by it, then they will probably bite them off right away.
But of course you can make very long nails and then also thicker nails. So that, but that's a whole discussion itself. Okay, let's have a look at the curve. So, oh, nice.
Yeah, so try to have it as natural as possible. You can see that we have a little bit of a room here, of course, but not too much elongation. So maybe let's go a little bit shorter. every temptation needs to go away. And then I can make it even go a little bit thinner.
Yeah. Of course, there is a fine line between going thinner and going too thin.
Yes, absolutely.
When you work with covering colors.
Yes, you really need to be careful that you don't get, of course, shadowing.
Mhm.
And you need to be very, very careful in the pressure of the file.
Yeah.
Not to press too hard. And still there needs to be product on there. If it goes too thin, then it gets too flexible. It could easily break.
Mhm.
And so thickness is very important. Or no
So you're
thickness.
going to finish it with extreme matte in this case.
Yes. First, I'm going to take the e-file for a moment
Yeah.
because the cuticle is, of course, and the eponychium is very high.
Yeah.
So the product really needs to be connecting with the natural nail. So I'm going to use the e-file to do this in order that there are any product that maybe can lift and they can.
So you're using the expert bit for
Yes,
that?
I'm using
which
the
is
expert.
a pointed bit.
Yeah, it's a pointed bit, and I just go softly around this area,
Yeah. Blending everything in.
blending everything in. Yeah.
Really popular bit. Miriam always uses this bit in all her demos, of course, because it's perfect for the transition of artificial product into the natural nail.
Yeah. Just a little, making sure that there will be no lifting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Remove away the dust. And I've seen. There you go.
Yeah.
And I think we're almost ready for the finishing touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extreme matte, of course, you can work with a shiny finish.
Mm-hmm.
The matte finish with a lady, of course, with the gel polish or a nice glitter. Although perhaps not too much glitter, because then all of a sudden they have glitter nails. That's also not something. So, of course, when you use the extreme matte, we first have a shiny look.
Yeah,
So this is how it would look shiny. So you see this, the natural looking free edge. The nail bed is a little bit elongated.
Yeah, it's elongated. You can see, and that's the thing. Probably I would have choose now, because it's the first time I make a nail on this. I will probably choose the next time to pick up the white a little bit further onto the natural nail plate, because it's a little bit of a shadowing. But I think when it's cured,
but it's very natural, and when it's cured,
it's going to be soft. Yeah, so let's cure this.
And of course, we have to compare it as well to what it was.
Yes.
Because, I mean, do you remember how the nail looked before Debbie started to work on the nail? It was really a challenging problem nail, a nail biter. And now it's covered, elongated. You have an elongated nail bed, natural look free edge.
Yeah.
So we have to see this next to a really bitter nail.
Yeah.
One of his bitter nails.
Yeah, to give the
And
contrast.
don't bite these. No, I will check it daily.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, maybe it will help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get off the nail biting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing, nail biting. Some people start to bite nails just for stress, other people just because they see something that they don't like. For other people, it's a way to aggressiveness.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. Here we go. And of course, I'm going to use a little cuticle
Very
oil.
soft. A little bit of cuticle oil, and now the cuticle also, the whiteness disappears,
Yes.
of course. And then compared to what it was, just look at this difference.
Yeah.
A nail biter fixed, a challenging nail with the challenges taken away.
Yeah, and I do absolutely adore the extreme matte, because that makes it really looks, not too feminine.
Yeah, it makes it also a little bit, again, a little bit flatter in look.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's not when you apply high shine, it gets a little bit three-dimensional. So you get like depthness in the nail, and now you're taking it away with the matte. Yeah, absolutely.
And then looking, of course, from a distance, you just have a beautiful, natural-looking hand and beautiful nails.
Yeah.
A nail.
A nail. Yeah, now we have to do them all. Yeah, but this is how it can look like.
Well, thank you, Debbie. And of course, thank you, Steven, for being our model. And of course, you're going to be a model again later today. Next week, we also have a very interesting show.
Yes, we have a very interesting show because we're going to talk about how, to make your business even more effective and earn more money, of course, and how to put yourself out there into the market.
Yeah, how to market yourself, how to sell yourself, how to sell your services, how to sell your business. And we're going to have 3 guests. Cerisa is going to be a live guest, of course, Cerisa, Annabelle and Loes, and both of them have a very clear vision on social media marketing, personal marketing. So if you want to make more money in your salon, more turnover, you have to look next week.
Bye.
Bye.